Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Hashtag Comedy TV with me, your host, Mr. Cee, and these fantastic, funny fathers, Kane Brown, Slim the Comedian, and Quincy. How you doing, guys?
Wicked.
What's going on?
Listen. So listen, last week, Quincy, let me ask you a question. You question my knowledge and music. In fact, you know what? Those of you who didn't even watch what happened last week, run this clip back for me, please. Question my knowledge. And last, by no means least, Christopher Columbus, who, as Burning Spear says, was a damn blasted liar. He didn't actually discover America, but he brought genocide.
It was culture. It was culture.
Culture. Sorry, thank you, Quincy. Oh, yeah. No. It was. You're the liar, Quincy.
All right. I made one mistake. You can't tell me culture and burning spear don't sound the same.
Run it.
Here comes black man and woman and children. And he na jam dung lanya. Holy pa mix up. A holy pa beno. Happy straighten out. Christopher Columbus is a jam blasted lion. Christopher Columbus is a jam blasted lion.
There you go. Look, see, there you go, Quincy. There you go, Bow. Culture and Burning Spear sound the same. That's like saying Bob Marley's Exodus was done by UB40, bro.
Why are you going there for? All right, move on. Move on, mate. Oh, go on, Rodigan. Go on, move on.
Okay. Rodigan. All right, listen, now, before we move on with today's show, we just want to say from all of us here, hardworking at Hashtag Comedy TV, we really do appreciate and love your support. However, we still need more from you. So those of you who are watching right now, please, we need you, we'd like you to press like, subscribe, and most importantly, share the content. And if you feel like you want to join in the conversation, then please add your comments below. And any questions, we'll get back to them. So first of all, Kane, anything caught your eye out there?
Listen, you know, like sometimes.
All right, I'll tell you what, Crane, don't worry about that. Let's see what's coming up on today's show first and
okay,
foremost.
good. Sorry, I thought, okay, good.
My bad.
First, we kick things off with some social media clips. Then we have the guys responsible for saving this man's life live on the show. Finally, we discuss a hero of another kind, Marcus Rashford.
Oh, my bad. So, Kane, anything caught your eye this week, my bro?
Yeah, so, you know, like your girl is always like complaining about, you know, she wants to spend more time with her friends and stuff like that. Well, I found a clip on YouTube. Have a look at this.
И, друзья, ассаламу алейкум, вот вам дагестанский лайфхак. Это моя жена. Чего ты хотела?
Я хотела больше времени проводить с подругой.
Правильно. Я решил твою проблему?
Решил.
Знакомьтесь, это моя вторая жена Сакинат. Подруга ее.
Джалил, я не это делаю.
Сакинат, добро пожаловать в семью. Ассаламу алейкум.
Bad man!
That's a bad man.
That nearly made me go and buy the Quran, you know, brother. I'm telling you that. I said, I need to turn Muslim, because bad man style, that's it, brother. Imagine you can turn around and do that.
Listen, that's like, you know, when your wife says something, you listen to her and you act on it, guys. That's the top drawer, man.
Listen, the friend wanted that. Yeah. If you look on her face, the camera pan around, you know, my girl was like, I got it. You understand? She didn't look vexed. It's the first wife looked vexed. You understand? Because it looked like her friend and the man was plotting from a long time to do that, boy.
All of her budget get half.
True.
Do you know what? I'm going to say to you guys, I'm actually quite disgusted by your your attitudes towards this situation.
Oh, shut up.
They got kicked. Listen, I watched that video, right? And I nearly turned it into a suffragette. That woman got kidnapped, yeah? And how he was talking, I was like, at any minute, Liam Neeson's going to come in and said, you don't recognize my voice, do you? Nah.
Listen,
if you enjoyed that clip,
go on, Slim.
Sorry, if you enjoyed that clip, yeah, I got a clip for you. Because do you remember a couple of weeks ago in the BLM march, Black Lives Matter march down in London, there's a policewoman thrown from her horse. Yeah?
Yes,
No one don't know what happened to that horse, do you? You don't know what happened to the horse. I found out what happened to the horse. Everybody loves the refix. If you don't know this guy, Ira 2017, go on his Instagram. This guy comes up with lots of different refixes for lots of different situations. And he found out exactly what happened to that police horse. Watch this clip.
Yo, my general. You know see what going in at the protest to Bumbuckler coming like wrestling.
Oh, what a clothesline!
Good like that one there. Yeah. Well, I'm doing it. What's wrong with you? What's your problem? Oh, no, see the ass will run around my cousin. When I sit down there and a Bumbuckler make joke and I laugh, you know, say them blood clot kill him. The Bumbuckler, you never tell us this. Yeah, man, tell us what happened. All right, man, go tell her now. How's your foot doing there, old chap? John was starting to heal up. Good. Let me see, put some weight on it. Yeah, man, sure. You understand, old boy? Everything Christmas can work, man. That'll be all, thank you. You think you get away with killing one of us? Yes, we run iron at the blood clot traffic lights.
Hey, that's funny,
man. Listen, it's the piece where he said, could you put some weight on it, young man? And he put weight on it. And proper Jamaican, everything crisp, man. It can't work, man. Big up Ira 2017, man.
17, man.
When
I saw the first horse in the bar, yeah, and he had a Jamaican accent, I was like, as he bleached, is that Vibes Cartel? As he bleached?
That's funny, man. That's funny.
That's hilarious, mate. Hilarious. That's proper hilarious.
Oh, great clips, guys. Great clips. But right about now, I want to introduce some real life heroes to Hashtag Comedy TV. Please welcome Patrick, Jamaine, Chris, and Lee.
Oi.
The man them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
salute.
Gents. I just want to say to Jamaine, first and foremost, I'm sure you guys were equally as horrified as the visuals that we all saw worldwide as regards to George Floyd. How did you go from being protesters to protectors, Jamaine?
No, we was always protectors, brother. We never went out there to protest nothing. We don't represent Black Lives Matter. We represent fathers, dads, uncles, brothers, concerned adults. Because when we found out that the terrorist Tommy was sending these people out on the streets of London to actually intercept a protest, what was supposed to be a peaceful one, he brought hostility and terrorism verbs to the narrative of what they was doing. And when it was cancelled, I knew our kids would still be out there. So I would, as a 20-year-old, my son's 20, so I would say as a 20-year-old, I still would have went. So because I still would have went, I know my son would go. So, but his mum had him down anyway. But it's the principle of the mindset. I'm looking after your brother, like you look after my brother or my son. So I put a big shout out on Instagram, on Facebook, saying, man, them need to come out. But a lot of my close friends, no, don't. It's a conspiracy. Stay in. It was mad. But we just went out there to oversee and just guide, because it's not our protest. It's the kids' protest. Ours are gone. We was too soft. But the kids, it's the kids' time now. So they're not taking no for they're not taking no for an answer. So that's why we just went out there to oversee and steer them in the right way. Don't do graffiti when the bubbler's watching you. Don't be licking our man too much because there's pure camera all over the place. So it's all about thinking smart, and that's what we was kind of out there doing, really.
Wicked. No, bless Jamaine, man.
That's brilliant. Can I ask Lee? Growing up in London, is it the first time you've actually had to deal with football hooligans?
Good question. Yeah, that's the first time I've had to deal with football hooligans. I haven't ever dealt with them before, but it's nothing that I don't think would have been out of the ordinary, because all of us coming from a martial arts background and used to combat, and me being in security, Pierre obviously being in security as well, and the other guys have all got backgrounds in security as well. So
what type of martial arts? What type of martial arts? Just
myself,
clarify that.
Myself kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. I think Chris is jiu-jitsu as well, and Jamaine is MMA, and Patrick and Pierre is jiu-jitsu and kickboxing as well.
Wow, serious thing.
So you was ready for them. You was ready.
Yeah, was ready, trust me.
No origami, no paper folding.
No.
No yoga going on here.
No yoga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Jay, I'm on the yoga. Leave the yoga alone. I'm on the yoga.
I want to ask Chris a question.
With your wife.
I want to ask Chris here. I saw the video which Tommy put out there, and I was also at the same march. But I went on the back of the reaction from the young black boys, and like yourselves, for me, it was like to protect. So what kind of conversation did you engage with the young black brothers?
Ours was more being mindful. Obviously, there's a lot of emotion, and we didn't want to be too reactive, and we have to be mindful that a lot of us guys have gone through these kind of scenarios before in the past, and we have to think forward. There's a risk of us guys going out there and incriminating ourselves and basically snitching on ourselves. Unfortunately, a lot of influencers, I would say, were out there recording, showing people, like beating people up. That's basically recording for the police. Like, you might as well be an inside man. And yes, we want to protest. Yes, we want to give a couple knee, elbow, do a couple things, you know, but not to go and incriminate ourselves. It's making it. You have to be smart about this. You can't make easy work for the police. Then all the police need to do now, if they want to start pushing any charge or anything, is go on there and look at people's social media. So we thought, let's go out there, do what we can to support the cause. Obviously, we know what we're doing. You know, us guys battle and do combat on a daily basis, so we know what we're doing. But at the same time, be mindful to not allow other people to sort of fall through the net and just be misled by other people who don't have that sort of vision or foresight to oversee. Because bottom line is, if these guys now get arrested, if these guys now start getting charged, I don't know how many of those influencers are going to come out and start posting bail or representing them in court, you know, or defending them. Everybody's sort of looking after their own back, and it's the crab's mentality that we've got to sort of eliminate. We, as well as defending our youth from the EDL terrorists, but also defending our youth from the police, because they're supposed to be our protectors and they're not. But at the same time, we're also defending our youth from themselves and people who will mislead them. So there's a lot of responsibility that we sort of took on board, which a lot of people think that still not understand today.
Yeah, no.
I wanted to ask Patrick a question, please. So, Patrick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Right, yeah. One of the things, I think the first image that anybody saw from the march, really, that resonated with them was the picture of you carrying the guy. And everybody was like, what's going on? At first, because I even saw people saying, no, you don't, it's not what people think it is. He's not saving the white guy and he was on our side and all of this nonsense. And it was such a powerful image. And everybody was like, wow, like that did more for race relations than any politician has done in many, many years, to see you doing that to somebody who's meant to be on the other side. What was going through your mind at the time?
At that instant, seriously, literally nothing was going through my mind apart from, you know, something could happen here and we all went in there to stop it from happening. And then I had an opportunity to pick him up. Like, I just thought, pick him up. I didn't. It's one of those instinctive things you do. Picked him up, and that was it, man. I wasn't thinking anything at the time apart from let's just make sure this man don't get hurt.
Yeah, it's mad.
Killed, not hurt. Killed.
It's crazy because
I didn't really want to use that word,
Yeah, no. I heard that, man.
I'll tell you why it was such a powerful thing, because also I think everybody thought if it was the other way round, would one of them have done the same for you guys?
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's a good question.
No, man.
We would hope so.
Mm.
Oh, we're still getting stick for it, guys. We are still getting stick, and Pat especially.
You're getting stick?
Still getting a lot of stick for basically a lot of people don't see outside of the box, and what the single action Patrick did to pick that guy up and hand deliver him back to the butchers, saved the narrative of what our protests are about. Like, one thing to be clear, brothers, we're not Black Lives Matter. We don't represent Black Lives Matter. Like, we've never represented them for a second. Apologies if that offends anybody, but that's not what we went out for. We went out there as fathers, as brothers, as Black men, as a unit. And one of the things that media and a lot of reporters and news stations keep on trying to do is portray the image that they've always done as black people, and just show one single man doing one single act of kindness. And we're like, nah, we went out there as a band of brothers, as a union, as a force, and we're going to stay. And if you're going to report us on the news, you report us as a unit, as brothers who are working together. People say Black businesses can't work together. Black people, that's bullshit. We're changing that narrative. Sorry for swearing online. But we're changing that narrative.
We know you're talking from the passion. We just want to say as well, Pierre was one of the guys as well. He's not with us at the moment because he's actually busy with other chores on Father's Day. But we want to recognise Pierre as well. Sorry, continue, my brother. You're saying.
I was just saying that it's clearly obvious that you're a single action, and what I can see and what us guys can see is that you were protecting a band of young Black men coming up. That is clearly obvious to me. I don't even common sense. When I first saw it, it was, well, if you ask any of you guys, you don't really, not so much you care about the other guy, but you care about your Black brothers more. And that's why you picked him up. Because I would have done the exact same thing.
If we didn't intervene, then the headlines would have been completely different. You know what I mean? We saved probably 15. There was probably 15, 20 guys on this gentleman. Do you know what I mean? So
that's right.
We probably saved all their lives from getting life in prison. You know what I mean? So we saved their lives. So we weren't, even though it looks like it was trying to save this racist life, but look, we saved all those guys' lives because they would have been spending the rest of their time in prison.
And you know what the headlines would have been? It would have been Black Lives Matter, Black protest killed, granddad of 3, father of 4,
police
looking after Churchill, innocent man. That's what it would have been.
It would have been Blue Lives Matters. It would have been the next campaign.
It would have been murder.
Yeah. So listen, Lee, while we're on the subject,
it would be murder.
Lee, sorry. While we're on the subject of the police, I mean, they were there. You know, what was their actions? What did they do? Did they help at all?
Well, at that time, no. They were standing up. It's like they just. What I saw, they was more on. Did you ever see them when they had a camera? They was more on letting things unfold, letting people do the dirt. And just film it rather than intervene. Do you know what I mean? So just film, let you do your dirt, film, and then probably come a couple months and nick you. Do you know what I mean? They would have stopped and intervene. That's why we were there. We intervened before
everyone.
Yeah.
You had the guys with the orange little tassels either side. They were just filming, smiling, filming everybody, everyone.
And that's one thing you need to be mindful of. These guys had the power to stop and intervene on a lot of occasions. The only one that got captured, obviously, is Pat's one, but it's gone viral now. But there are a lot of other altercations that we intervened in that obviously weren't. and the other people that were there intervening as well.
There's other people as well. You have to big up other people as well. There was other people as well that was intervening with stuff, and even helped with the situation that got caught on camera as well with Pat.
Yeah, but
all of those
just
as well, man.
on the note of the police. Once again, the note of the police. The police, for me, they had a purpose there. They were there to capture stuff. They were, like Jay said and Lee said, they were filming. So once again, just be mindful of people incriminating themselves. The police they knew what they were doing. They knew they wanted a reaction. They wanted to be able to report this as criminals or terrorists.
Yeah, yeah, and they didn't bite the bait. You made sure, obviously, that the bait wasn't bitten, and hats off to you guys. I'd like to ask Patrick, all you guys, what do you think is the way forward for our community now? Do you get what I mean? What do you think is the way forward in retrospect of everything that's gone on?
I guess we can all have a bit of this one, but I mean, I'd start, Slim, by saying that, whatever platform that we get, we're going to try and use it positively to try and uplift our community. And we want to start with basic things like making sure that Black history is taught in schools in the curriculum, not just in October, And we want them to teach, the history, what happened to us before slavery, not just slavery. We need to know that before slavery, we were somebody and we were doing things, And the children need to know that, because I never knew any of that when I was coming up. I mean, I could tell you about the Tudors and Stuarts and King Henry VIII, and I could tell you about World War I and II and III. I couldn't tell you nothing about Black history, And I'm a Black man, and I'm nearly 50.
Our history, so, according to them, our history began as slaves.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to get that put on the curriculum. That's one of the first things that we're going to be jumping on. And then we just want some money. The money that's been taken out of our community, we want it put back. Yeah, like we've had a legacy built up in Croydon. That's nice, but we don't just want one legacy. We want them all over the place. We want money put back into the community, right? And then on top of that, we want at the higher level, we would like things to be done. The police force, they need to stop being institutionally racist, and the only way they're going to do that is by changing their ethos and employing more. It's spreading the deployment of the higher echelons of the police force. So not just put man on beat. We need Black guys in the higher echelons of the force, so that they can make a difference. So they don't have to feel away when they go in there and feel they have to conform to the narrative of being, we're one like police unit and we're all brothers, Black and white in the police force. So that you see a Black man, arresting another Black man and treating him away. We have to change all of that. So there's a lot of work to be done, man, and we can all get it done. If we just come together.
Yeah. So with all the press and all of the spotlight on you guys, how's it been for your family?
Madness.
My girlfriend just started talking to me.
I saw your daughter.
She don't realise I'm Malcolm X in the making.
I'm just standing there laughing at him, or is my grandson? Which one?
I'm just standing there looking through the window with my coffee cup. It's not a gun.
But also, how far spread has this news gone? Where are you getting calls from as regards to your story?
America, New Zealand, Australia, Africa. It's gone round and come back.
Everywhere.
It's gone round and come back.
Beautiful.
I've had emails, I've got Facebook messages from people up India,
France, Spain.
Yeah,
wow. Thailand.
Al Sharpton got in contact with someone.
Wow. Yeah, man. Al Sharpton said he wants to meet us and thing. It's peak, man. Like I've had a lot of messages. I've had a lot of messages from well wishers, especially like white people, actually saying to me that
loads.
You've changed my mindset, right? And I'm gonna try and do what I can, And they're the ones that really touch me, because we've actually changed people's opinions of us,
Yeah,
you can't ask for more than that.
As well as a lot of messages I'm getting as well is like from white women, and I'm like, let me check her pictures. And then they've got mixed race kids.
Hey,
what I'm seeing, they've got mixed race kids, and they've got mixed race kids, and I think they might have been like ostracized from their family, so they're by themselves with their mixed race kids, and they don't know how to battle this Black Lives Matter type movement, or how are they going to grow their kids with no close bonded black brothers around them, and they've like showing them videos of us and saying, I've just sat down my two sons and I showed them this and they're so happy, all that stuff, and it's been like touching, bro. But yeah, I have to like pre the pictures still.
Yeah, of course you do. But you know what's mad? You know what the maddest thing is? Do you know what? Sorry to cut you, Quince. Do you know what the maddest thing is about this? I'll tell you why it was such a powerful image, yeah? Because all of you guys can protect yourself and you can defend yourself. But yet, you didn't use that strength in a negative way. You used it in a positive. So when people see that, it's like that picture just captured the sentiment of everything. Like, okay, people can look at us different now. And it's mad because it don't matter how many times they come across good black people, it takes something like that. The woman who messaged you and said, oh, you changed my mindset. Don't tell me she's never come across a decent black person in her life. Come on.
Understand.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's amazing. It's amazing how one image can capture. Let me tell you something. You lot, whoever took that picture, you owe them a drink.
Yeah, me and that guy, he reached out to me. You know, we're in contact. Because he said I changed his life as well. Because if I hadn't done it, he wouldn't have been able to take the picture. You know, so you know, his life has changed, and you know, I thanked him for taking the picture. He's a guy, sort of half Argentinian. He's a guy called Dylan Martinez. His name is.
Wicked. Dylan Martinez.
Have you not spoken to the white guy? Have you spoken to the guy you saved?
You can do that.
They've been trying to. Trying to contact any member of my family all week, trying to get me to talk to them, the son, offering me all sorts of money to go and sit down with this guy and accept his apology or something. But people that I'm with, work with, and that, and us, we've just, you know, it's not what we're right now. We're not interested in all of that, you know.
Yeah, fantastic.
Can I just say
narratives?
Can I just say, don't you find it ironic that the guy you saved, he's come down with a firm, and the same firm he's come down with, and you know the carnal sin, we come together, we leave together, and his brethren left him.
Yeah, they left him. It got too big for them, and they had to run and leave him.
And that's
they started early. They started too early. If they get black people come out late.
They never paced themselves. It's
the same way how they drink. It's the same way how they drink.
Man, in the words of Mo, man, they had too many, a couple of cans or whatever you call it.
I ain't gonna lie to you. A couple of them I did see. There was on the old Bob Marley. I ain't gonna lie to you. There was the old Martian powder.
Well, look, listen. It's difficult to reason with some of them kind of people, racist and that, and they've got some people that right out there trying to represent them and just come across the wrong way. Take a look at this clip here.
And why are you here today?
I'm here to protest, right? Because I'm going on a march because I want Britain to be back British. I want Britain to be back British. We've got interracial law, and the Muslimic infidel, they're trying to get their law over our country, and it is happening. It's happening in other countries. Everything, it's happening in every country. It's like you've got the Iraqi law that they put down in London, like we're more or less near London today, but. They're trying to put the Iraqi law down on London. They're just trying to put their law down on us, and we can't stand for that.
Which Iraqi law is this?
It's the Muslimic law.
No, this guy needs to give Boris Johnson's elocution lessons. Listen, mate, what a thing.
And do you know the joke thing about it? He's probably got drunk off foreign beer. That's what makes it even worse.
He's drinking
That's
cold
the
rum.
truth. That's the truth. I think their women sent them down there, you know, encouraged them in some form of way. Just to, you remember, they've been in lockdown for the last 3 months, yeah? Their missus most probably was fed up for them. Said, yeah, go down there, let them kill them. Come on,
do me a favour.
Sandwiches for you. There's a couple of cans of beers. Yeah, their woman set them up.
And you got to remember as well, them guys.
That guy Patrick Say, yeah, his wife was not expecting him to come back home that night. Yeah,
that's why she wants to contact Patrick.
Trust me.
She want to give you money. She want to give you money to do the hit properly. Sorry, Patrick. Go on.
No, I was just saying that these guys, they're majority of them are going to be sort of my age group, our age group, yeah? So they've been doing football hooliganism for many a year, right? But they haven't kept themselves in shape, right? So these men, they're just they're just going to get wasted. They're trying to back it against our young. It's not going to happen, man. Like,
man, I tell you what. I salute what you've done, though. Seriously, Pat, I really salute what you've done. Don't worry about what other people said, because, you know, you was there and you've done what was the right thing to do as a human being. Do you understand? As you said, you're not there for one, you're there for our kids and our people.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And you've done what any human being should do, decent. So well done on you. And the rest of the lads, salute you, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Absolutely, man. You know, you talk about absent fathers, but you turned up for all of the fathers there. It's been an absolute pleasure having all of you on today. Give them a round of applause, guys. Come on, man. Big thank you to all of us from here at Hashtag Comedy TV for coming on and making us all, not just us here, but throughout the whole of the community, worldwide, as you've seen the love, made us all feel proud. Have you got any last messages you want to send out to the people, Patrick and the guys?
I'll say thank you guys for, firstly, before my brother speak, I'll say thank you guys for providing us the authentic platform to show everybody the truth and preach the truth. You guys have been doing what you're doing from day, and you're all heroes as well. You guys do what you're doing as well. You're heroes, and you're setting the pace for what the media should see and should accept. You're setting the narrative, and you're looking for permission. You're doing it. You're taking action. You know, you're just doing it. So thank you guys for what you're doing, and continue doing it.
Respect, man.
Thank you so much, man. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh yeah, please give us some your t-shirts. Let us know where we can get your t-shirts from.
Which
amazing work. Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, Pat, yours. I've been getting a lot of calls for your one.
Yeah, what, the melanin hair ones?
Yeah.
That's correct.
That's my brethren's. That's his label, and I'm just trying to help him promote it. But yeah, man.
So where can we get it? Which website?
You can actually on my Insta. I've been promoting it, so you can see. But I think it's at Melanin Air UK on Insta.
At melaninairuk.co.uk. Okay.
Yes.
Melanin.
Spell check it. See, spell check.
And this stuff here, this is what I'm wearing today. This stuff here is my son's brand. It's Trap and Trade, and Pierre is Trap in French.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's his brand as well. I'm repping that too, yeah?
All right, man. We'll make sure that we get
Chris's
we'll get one for all of the guys, man. We're going to get one for all of the guys. And also, Jamaine.
How can people...
That's
people get in contact with you?
Me? Or...
All of you.
All of you. How can people get in contact? People watching this say, I like them guys. How can we get in contact?
Insta, I guess. The easiest way is Insta.
Instagram, best way.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Payne for me. Jamaine Facey or Mr. Payne. That's my name on Instagram.
I am Patrick Hutchinson. At I am Patrick Hutchinson.
Fantastic.
And my workout with Hutch is my fitness label.
Lee's on stuff I'm on stuff. Yeah, Lee's on stuff.
Lee's on stuff.
On stuff.
Lee was on the wrong side, Lee. Lee was on the wrong side, but Lee's on stuff.
I'm on stuff. Come on.
We'll make sure we put link.
Mine is Chris Otokito, and also Jamaine said martial arts locker room, manifesting achievements and limitless rewards. That's the hashtag I'm always wearing as well with the code logo. So there's an Instagram website for both of those. Chris Otokito. You can find mine through my Instagram page as well. So thank you, brothers.
Can I just ask, just quickly, see?
Go on, quickly.
One last question. Since obviously you're all martial artists, yeah, and you train people, have you put your prices up?
New members, yes. But if I know you're in Brixton, you buy me a drink, then we can work something out. Brandy, no ice, no coke, just straight double.
Yeah,
don't worry. We're gonna do a comedy special film, man. Us four versus you guys and everything, and we'll do subtitles like. Anyway, listen.
We do something definitely.
I'm up for that. Special. Definitely, man. Definitely. So listen, guys, thank you so much for coming on. We wish you all the best. And keep doing what you're doing. You're heroes to ourselves and the whole of the world. Thank you so much for coming on #Comedy TV, man.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, we salute you guys. Thank you.
For those of you who didn't get any of those links, we'll make sure we include the links on our website and also on all of our social medias. So look, from those fantastic heroes to one singular hero. Of course, we're talking the Man United and England superstar striker, Marcus Rashford. So during this pandemic, we've noticed that the children who usually get free meals at school were now not getting any meals at all. Now, the government had originally proposed possibly to let these children continue with their free meals, and then they said, nah, let them starve. However, Marcus, remembering his experience as the 22-year-old, remembering his experience at school, where he fortunately got picked up by Man United for their football academy at 11, no longer needed to be one of those children who was reliant on school meals. And he, with the power of his social media, got Boris Johnson to change his mind. Marcus Rashford, man. Kane, this is a beautiful story. What do you feel, Kane? How do you feel with this?
Who?
Kane, sorry.
Yeah. Let me tell you,
it's a beautiful story.
It's more than a beautiful story because for us, everything happens for a reason, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If we weren't in the position that we're in now, say, for example, the time that we're in now, the government wouldn't have listened to him. But everything just lined up perfect. And it's amazing that a young black man who remember, you know, he don't need anything. The guy's a multi-millionaire. He's got a good life. But the good thing is he's looked back and realized, you know what, I come from somewhere. I went through stuff. So let me put back. Let me help the people that are behind me now. So no, respect to him, man. It's amazing. It's amazing, honestly. I wish if more people did it. I'll take my hat off to him. And he's only 22 as well. So you know that really affected him. At 22, when you were 22, you weren't really thinking about anybody else. So for him, it really affected him. So respect to him, man. I'll take my hat off to him. Big up.
Slim, what's your thoughts?
And not only that, you got to big him up because him himself managed to get I don't want to get no press, but Katie's shitbags off Twitter. Her Twitter account is permanently suspended, yeah? Ain't coming back. I'm not sure about the other social network. No, man, she needed that. About time, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, free speech, but that is what we wanted to see. You see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, man.
She got too much to say.
Her
she got too much to say.
Permanently black now. How do you feel about that, Kitty Hopkins?
Yeah, you know, it looked like she was
all the time.
No, you know, it looked like she was doing Blackout Tuesday.
Forever.
She was supporting us. Yeah, this ain't
the
time.
Respect, Katie.
This
Thank
not
you
the
very much.
time. Your time.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah. Big up, Katie. Don't spend a penny.
Our time's done. Your time's done.
1.1 million people just disappeared off the planet.
Oh, God.
Disappear.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
1.1 million people. You know how long it took her to build it up with all her hate? Oh, God.
Yeah,
And she's
mate.
pissed.
Good.
She's pissed.
Of course she is.
Because, you know, President Trump used to retweet one or two of her tweets. So she felt sweet.
Yeah.
President retweeting me. Yeah, man, that killer. Yeah. Oh, big.
We need the other platforms to do the same because she's a terrorist and she is actually promoting terrorism. That's what she's doing. Yeah. Get her off. It's hate speech. Yeah. Get her off.
I mean, I don't know how she hadn't.
Imagine this. 2 years ago, remember, you know, she lost all her money because someone was taking her to court for libel. And instead of her paying £5,000 or whatever the penalty was, she said, no, I'm taking it to court. She ended up having to sell her house.
Sell her house as well.
Yeah. And listen, she's in a bad way. You know, I might even call her, check up on her. Let me check up on her.
She's bitter.
And that's going to be the new picture. We're going to see Kane Brown walking with Katie Hutchinson on his shoulders, taking her to safety.
Imagine, she's going through some trauma now, and she lost all her followers on Twitter. Oh, God, Katie. This is for you, baby.
Yeah.
I'm actually intrigued to what her husband would tell her. What would when your missus messes up and she comes home, like what's the first words out of his mouth? It's like, how many times have I told you shut your mouth? Yeah.
No,
now look at us now.
Her mouth was what's made her money. Remember, you know, she's doing it on purpose. Yeah. All this hate coming from her is because that's how she makes a living.
Yeah.
She's relevant because people keep talking. You see, after this, get rid of all her platforms. No one won't talk about it. She won't make no money. Stand on the street corner and chat your rubbish, innit? That's it. Yeah. You can have an audience of 15 people. Yeah, man. Scumbag.
You know what? She's such a horrible person. I mean, I don't know how she didn't get dashed off social media and the networks and the TVs even sooner. Because you know what? Her mouth is so poisoned, but yet the poison what she spews, it points back to her. Have a look at this next clip.
I don't like footballers' names. I don't like names after seasons of the year. I don't like geographical location names, celebrity names, things like Apple, things like, you know, Tilly Fizz or Jolly Apple, whatever they've decided to call their crazy. Poppy. My child's called Poppy.
Yes.
It's a flower.
That's a flower.
A geographical seasonal.
No.
They're not like Latin.
Poppy's quite
You should call it to the Latin name for Poppy. That would have been really posh.
Interestingly, though, other people have criticised me for calling her Poppy because they say Poppy's a naughty name. So parents do criticise each
geographic stuff?
Geographic. Oh, so Brooklyn or London.
Your child's called India?
Yes, but, you know, that's because it's not related to a location. That's because it's
India
related
isn't
to
a
a
location?
family. No.
We're talking about education.
That woman...
What an
that
idiot.
woman, she named her child after the same people she's trying to get out of the country. I tell you, that she's, I don't even call her a woman. You know what I mean?
Well,
I can't believe.
You know why she called it? You know why she called her child India, innit? Because in the process of actually creating the child, she was trying to say to her husband, "I want to take it in there." Anyway,
all right. So look, let's move on from evil to good. Yeah. So as you all know, we're all boxing fans here. Yeah.
Yes,
we all have a little tear up. So Mike Tyson, a new movie. Jamie Foxx is starring in is going to be making the new Mike Tyson movie, which I am looking forward to. And for me, I hope it's better than the last Mike Tyson movie with Michael J. White.
But it was rubbish.
That
was rubbish. It was like it was like caricatures. It weren't even like real people, like the Don King. Hey, don't do it. You remember the guy who played? He was in Rocky 5, I think it was. He was playing Don King in it. Terrible, brother. I said, what is this?
I've seen two Don King movies. And not good. Not good.
They should have got Michael Jackson to have played Don King in that one. It was so terrible.
A lot of rubbish.
Yeah,
this one looks wicked. Looks wicked.
And
you know
have you been watching? Go on.
Jamie Foxx, is like he's so good at getting into
mimicking.
character.
Listen,
he's so good. Because remember, you know, he used to do comedy, so he used to do voices before. So it's like everything's coming into play. I saw a clip of him the other day, and he was like, he put on weight and bulked up. Oh my God, brother.
He's not fully there yet. If you check his Instagram, I am Jamie Foxx, his Instagram, you see the pictures. He's actually released the pictures now of him bulking up. Absolute. It's a beast. He's such a method actor.
Let's check out Jamie just describing the scene with probably one of the greatest fighters.
This is
the camera is high, but not as high as the heavens, just above the trees, and it's snaking through New York. Somewhere in New York, and it's cold, and people are on their way to work. It's just one camera, and you hear focus mitts being hit in the distance, and it's just capturing regular day, blue collar people. You know what I'm saying? The hood, it's just regular. You know, people on their way somewhere, and then we get up to this boxing gym. We see the doors, and the camera stops, and you hear the doors open magically. Camera snakes in, and we see in the distance a hulking figure holding focus mitts and a little kid hitting the mitts. And you hear the kid asking the hulking figure, "My dad said you were amazing. My dad said you was one of the best. You was boss. You was this, you was that." And you hear the person's voice, "Don't worry about what your dad said. Just throw the right. Make sure you keep your left though. Get your head knocked off." And as the camera gets closer, you see that it's now Mike Tyson. "No, but my dad said, I'm gonna tell you one time, don't say anything about your dad. I don't care. That was back in the day. Just throw the left, and when you shoot the right, shoot it with authority. Shoot like you mean it." Boom. And he throws it right, and he hits Mike, and Mike acts like he's falling in super slow motion. And when he hits the ground, ding, 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 he's back at the last fight. He got knocked out. And he's he's there. And as you see him, the last fight, he's on the ground, and he rests back on the ropes, and he sees everybody talking shit. Everybody saying, "Get up, Mike." Some people saying, "You a bum." Some people saying all the things that people were saying, because we were split at that time. And he rests back on the rope, spits his mouthpiece out, and it goes calm. And you just hear, and he's saying, "I'm done with all of this." And all of a sudden, just as we relax into that moment, the ref comes up, 1, 2.
Yeah.
And we flash back to the young Mike Tyson. That's how it opens.
Mate.
Yeah. I'm ready for that.
Sold.
I am ready.
Sold.
I'm going cinema to watch that. I'm going cinema to go and watch.
That's right.
You understand?
I am willing. Yep. I am willing to pay my high-end prices to watch that movie. Yeah, because as far as I'm concerned, like he sold it. I was just like this, but I was saying to myself,
"You're right. I'm buying popcorn from the cinema. I'm not bringing in my own food. Nothing. I'm having the whole experience. Anybody's chatting, I'm gonna turn into those. I'm gonna turn into a Karen if people are talking in there.
and you know what, bro? Listen, he's got me so gassed. You know, I'm gonna come out of that film like, you know, when Italians came out after seeing Rocky. You know when black after they saw Kung Fu. I'm coming out throwing punches and everything. Listening.
But you know what?
You go.
I will say this. I was thinking of other boxers as well, because Mike Tyson's got a great story, yeah. But there were other boxers who I love to see a movie. Do you know what I like to see a movie about? Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard for town. Yeah, because he went to prison for robbery.
He went prison.
He went to jail for bank robbery or something like that. And
I like to see a Bernard Hopkins. That's right.
Nuts, Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson.
That's a good one.
Why Jack Johnson?
The first black heavyweight in the world.
Yeah. And they tried to set him up. They tried to make
big man.
Different kind of white man fight him.
Yeah. And they stopped. When he actually won the belt, they were recording it, but the sheriff got into the ring, stopped the fight, and told the man to stop the filming. So there's you see him beating him up, but you don't see the knockout. Go and watch it if you can.
Yes,
YouTube, PBS, Jack Johnson. Go on YouTube and watch that.
And that fight, he was carrying the brother. He was actually taunting him while he was beating him up. He was taunting him.
He whooped everybody. And he dated white women.
Yeah, that's what they never liked.
In 1907.
They never liked that. So you imagine in that time.
That's a real bad man.
In that, and you know what? And he carried himself, he didn't care. He didn't care. And at the time, he made a lot of money as well. Yeah.
Listen, the equivalent of him dating.
Like this here, man. Yeah.
The equivalent of him. The equivalent of him dating a white woman in 1907 is like Levi Roots dating the Queen's daughter. It's impossible. Impossible. It's a bad man.
It's the truth.
A bad man.
Go watch it.
And do you know what else I would like to see as well? A good movie leading up to it, right? So let's go for the white guy. I would like to see the build up to Terry Marsh when he put one in Frank Warren, when he shot Frank Warren.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Anyway, because the build up to that, because you have to be, because we all know boxing promoters have got a reputation, you know what I mean? And Mr. Warren, as good as he is promoter, as everybody knows, and that's my train of thought, they're known for knocking off people. So there's a build up for a man to go and trouble a Warren. 10 days, for me, I would like to see not even a movie, like a good documentary, but what made you, as an ex-fireman, turned pro boxer, allegedly put one in Mr. Warren. I like to see that movie.
I want to see a documentary about Don King. That's what I want to see.
Yeah,
that would be a
proper documentary.
You'd learn some things from Don King. That man there, he made some money for some boxers, but he made a hell of a lot more money for himself. Thriller in Manila.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Rumble in the Jungle. Come on, man.
Yeah, some of the biggest fights at that time.
He was the promoter. Prison for murder. He come out of prison for murder and then went and promoted the fight.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Did he
fight for him, you know?
Yeah. Didn't he have rumours that he worked for the mafia? When he worked for the mafia?
In the beginning, they were saying that because they were running boxing back then. The mafia was running boxing in Vegas.
That's right.
So
Don King was never working for the mafia. The mafia was working for Don King. Trust me, my man. Actually, you know what? I was just thinking, if you turn your screen upside down, Kane looked like Don King upside down. No, it's just me. It's just me.
And if you didn't use beard dye, you'd look like me too.
I was waiting.
Oh, bless, man. Knockout. So listen, guys, I think because today is a very special day, it's Father's Day. Let's just share a few experiences what we've had as fathers, as regards to our fathers, as regards to our children. So let's just end on focusing on the fathers. So number one, is there any kind of quality that you feel that you share with your father? Do you feel you share any qualities that your father had? Kane, I'll come to you first.
Not one. My dad. Okay, apart from sometimes, I'm miserable sometimes. But that was him. That was him. Shut up, please. That was him his whole life. The man, and you know what? It's not that he was a miserable person, as in you never see him smile, but everything was negative. So I remember I wanted to set up a business. I was going to set up. This was years ago. Remember this, you know? And I saw that there was a bit more demand for like Jamaican food, and I was going to set up a business doing either frozen or chilled, ready-made Jamaican meals, and do it in the supermarket. This was when I say years ago. I started doing all the research, getting all my figures together, and as I was talking to my mum, who my mum's really like, she's a business-minded person. My mum, yes, that sounds very good. Yes, you should. And then my dad was sitting there, and remember, he's a plasterer, you know. So he's a plasterer, that's all he's done. And I remember he turned around.
A tradesman.
Watch him. So you want to set up business. Where you want to set up? You know, so you can't lose money. It now go work. Brother, that was my whole dreams. Son, that's your dad, you know. Your dad's telling you it's going to fail.
Slim,
Likewise, like Kane, my dad never. I got my sense of humor off my dad. My dad had a very good sense of humor, but like life skills, I don't think he taught me that. You know what I mean? He was. A lot of dads left it down to the mums to do shit. That's what I noticed. Even if they're around and you knew them, I didn't live with my dad. So bottom line is, when he turned up, irresponsible. He's a great guy, but he's irresponsible. So I never really learned anything from him. You know what I mean? That's the truth.
Okay. Quincy, man. What was your dad's weaknesses, Quince? What was his weaknesses? If he had any,
I was just gonna say. No, I was just gonna say that. Listen to Kane and Slim's story, man. This must be a Jamaican thing because that was nothing.
Move on, go along with yourself.
Because my dad is a proper as a man. Weaknesses. I would say my dad's weaknesses, which is he tries to find good in everybody.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Give me an example.
So there was a time where our family experienced some racial abuse, and when you're growing up, you're not going to have it. Yeah. And my dad's ex-army, so I mean, my dad, instead of going there and dealing with the thing, my dad dealt with it in conversation. So he would try to reason with the race. You see that clip you showed earlier on with the well, this Mr. My dad would try and reason with that man. My dad, look,
what would he say?
Explain to me why you feel sometimes that because of the color of my skin, that it don't seem to come to terms with your way of thinking. All I want to know is just why do you hear me so drink this cockspur here and let's drink and talk about this thing.
He's a reasoner. He reasons with you.
Say again,
Your dad just wanted to understand. He was an empathetic person. He wanted to understand why people think the way they do.
Yes, but you know, sometimes this, as we've spoken about, there's certain people you just cannot reason with. So like my mum used to always tell me, like, if we went to like any family parties or any events, my dad would find someone and he would talk to that person. And my mum was like, there you father go again, talking. All you do is talk. I mean, I just tried to understand why the man when he shot the club. The club said it finished at 11. It's only 10:30. You got half an hour. I tried to understand why the man.
Talking about reasoning. Do we as fathers do we reason with our children now? Slim, do your children? Yeah. What's the experience for you and your children as regards to reasoning? So you just
reasoning with them. I'm from them being little. I think if you talk to your children from young, you know, you input certain little things in them. You know, certain ways, certain morals. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be a moral compass to them. Do you know what I mean? Right. You're supposed to be a lot of things to them. You're supposed to have wisdom, give them wisdom and everything. So I don't say I tell them what to do, but I can advise them of my life experiences or experiences that I know out there. I mean, end of the day, they're going to experience things anyway. But yeah, I'll just try and share what knowledge I can with them.
Kane, are you a reasoning father, or are you more me tell if you do this, so do it?
No, I'm the opposite to my dad. You know, that's what I learned from him. I learned what not to do. So with my kids, they're very. I've never hit my kids. Not once have I ever beat my kids. Never beat my never. I've never ever kids, man. Never lifted up my hand. So they talk to me, but sometimes
they can fight. That's why.
They go, you know what it is? No, but sometimes they go too far. Like they snitch on themselves. Like they tell me everything. So they snitch on themselves for things that I'm like, that ain't nothing bad. Like he might, Dad, I just want to just say, I walked past some guy and he was smoking weed and I think I inhaled some of it and I'm sorry. He's like, I don't need to know that. Like,
he's too truthful. He's too truthful.
He's too truthful. Everything. Yeah. But they feel like, if they're like, oh, Dad, I feel like I messed up. But I never judge them. That's what it is. They know they can tell me anything, and I'm not coming from a judgmental point. It's more educational. Okay, look, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're not supposed to. These are the consequences. So I've got a really good relationship with my kids, man. I'm happy for that because I did not have that with my dad. I didn't at all. So I'm grateful for that, man. I love my kids to death, bro.
Oh man, listen, we were just talking about obviously Jamie Foxx playing Mike Tyson. So if our fathers, if they was to do a story about our fathers, who would you have playing your dad and why? Slim, who would you have playing your dad if they was to make a movie about your
father? I'd have someone like Jimmy Cliff from The Harder They Come, or Oliver Samuels, one out of the two. So my dad had a great, he's either one or the other, because he's proper Jamaican, but he'd make you laugh like Oliver, you know what I mean? So Jimmy Cliff or Oliver. And he is a dark-skinned man as well. Yeah.
Wicked. Kane, who would be playing your dad and why?
I'd say, like, he'd have to play like a Victor Meldrew character. Victor Meldrew mixed with like Don Cheadle in Ocean's 11.
Victor Meldrew?
Because he's miserable. Miserable, brother. When I say, brother, the system. That's it. That's what he's my tell me every morning. Man, wake me up out of my bed, you know. The system. Yeah.
Wow.
Why Don Cheadle?
No, but Don Cheadle, because my dad had the same English accent like Don Cheadle did in Ocean's 11. It was horrific. Like he's you know, like the speaky smoky. Because he was a plasterer. He used to work with a lot of white guys. Oi, Mike. Hello, Mike. You all right? Yeah, not too bad. Hello to the missus for me, all right? Say to the missus, yeah. All right, take care, all right.
Quincy.
I'm like, who's that? Who the hell is that? Like, he never talked like that. All right, mate. Take care. All right. Hello to the missus, all right?
Yeah. All right, mate. All right, mate.
Yeah, all right, mate.
Quincy.
Yeah, I want to meet you. I want to meet your dad.
Oh, tears, man. Who's playing your dad, Quincy, and why?
I would think top of my head, Sidney Poitier.
Champion.
Yeah, Sidney Poitier. Just by some of the movies he's starred in, where the movies he's been in, there was one when he was a police officer, Mr. Tibbs.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Yeah, where he was put in situations where he had to overcome racism, but he overcame it with conversation and his intelligence and reasoning. So that's something my dad would do. So I mean, I know my dad would be like, so why do you feel that you have to put the cuffs on the man so hard? So that's what. And there was a one when he was a teacher in the UK, when he came to teach in the UK. I can't remember. It was black and white, which is funny enough. And I think Sidney Poitier's character, his persona, and his ability, his likability as a person, I think that is, if I had to get someone to play my dad, it would probably be Sidney Poitier.
Oh man, beautiful, man. And for myself, for my father, my dad passed when I was 13, 14, and my dad is a Jamaican Indian, and in my family, my mum was the one who handed out the discipline. So my dad was always the passive, calm one. I never saw my dad raise his voice. My dad never beat me either, and and I'm not saying that I thought my dad was weak, but I just always saw him as that passive person until one time I was doing my paper round, and the guy, he short my money, and he told me to. In fact, he swore at me. That's what he did. He told me to fornicate and off, and I went to go and tell my mum, because I know my mum would have bust up his. So I was telling my mum this story, and my dad was in the background, and he heard it. My dad just grabbed his coat, grabbed me, and said, "Come, take me to this man." And my dad went to the man's house, knocked the door. My dad grabbed up the man and said, "Pay my son his money, and if you ever touch my son." And I never realized that my dad had that in him. So sometimes the people who we see as passive, especially the fathers, don't forget the fire's there, man. And I've never forgot that. He taught me that with my sons, don't let nobody take no liberty with your children. You know what I mean? And even though you might be in the background, because a lot of times we like the mothers to lead, but as fathers, know when it's time to stand up and be a man for your child. So look, in closing, guys, in our experience as fathers, with our fathers and now with our children, what words of wisdom would you like to give to budding fathers out there, new fathers, fathers to become fathers out there? Quincy, I come to you first. What's the final message on Father's Day?
I would say to any would-be fathers, enter this stage of your life with an open mind and guide your children to be greater than you, to continue in the legacy. God, that was good. Let me write that down.
Oh, listen, man. Trust me. We got it, man. Remember, if you want to see more of this hashtag comedy TV stuff and pictures, Kane Brown.
Yeah,
final
for me,
father thoughts.
I think the most important thing is time. Your time. Building that relationship with your children so they know you, you know them, and they feel comfortable in approaching you with things. Because trust, that's what it is. It's like any relationship. The more time you spend with someone, the more you understand that person, the more they understand you, the better you can communicate. And I just realized because when I was younger, I had my 3 kids when I was young. I had my first son when I was 22. Then I had twins when I was 24. And so at the time, I'm in a different place. I'm working. They're at home with their mum. I've got promoted. I'm a manager now. I'm out the house a lot because I'm working, coming back late, just waking up, doing the bottles in the night. I burnt out after probably about 1.5 years. And, when you're young, sometimes the focus ain't where it's supposed to be. You're focusing on money and building, because obviously you've got to provide for your family, but you have to make time. Time is the number one thing you have to do. Very important.
Wonderful, man. Wonderful, Kane. Thank you. And Slim, man, final father thoughts.
They've said it already. It's the bond with your child. Don't matter how much children you got, have time for them. Spend time for them. Get to know them, not just with the mum, being around them and the mother of the child. Take your child out. Do you know what I mean? Do things, activities with them, bond with them in that way. And just be the best you can be. There's no textbook really on that. They say, oh, there's lots of fatherhood textbooks and motherhood textbooks. But anyone that's true mother or father, no. Once you're in it, you're in it. You understand? And until you experience stuff, it don't matter how much books you read. Do you understand? It don't prepare you for the real thing. So just do your thing in it. If you're a new father to be, if you just had do your thing, bro. You got this. That's what we say. You got this.
Beautiful. And for myself, just want to say, based on what Quincy was saying, legacy, that, I like to think, sometimes I sit down and I think, what did my great-great-grandfather do? Who was he? What was he about? I have no idea. It's lost. The legacy is lost. So I take a little bit from roots, where I know Kambi Belongo means river because of Alex Haley's roots and his legacy. Whether it's true or not, doesn't matter. Behold, the only thing greater than yourself. I did this with all of my sons. So for me now, it's about the conversations of the past. The sins of the fathers do not be carried forward with the sons. So create a new legacy. Think about how you want to be remembered, not just by your sons or your daughters, or your children, but your great-great-grandchildren. So create a new legacy today. This show's dedicated to every single father. This has been hashtag Comedy TV. We just want to say thank you from everybody behind the scenes. I'm sounding like your dad came. Thank you for everybody behind the scenes. Everybody behind the scenes. You know, it's been a great shows this evening. We want to say thank you to of course, the heroes, Lee, Chris, Patrick, Jamaine. Also, big shout out to Pierre, who wasn't here. Keep watching every single week, man. Listen, we still need you to like, subscribe, and share. Please, please, please. It's so important. So, final thoughts. Kane, what are you up to this week?
This week, I am doing my Insta Live on Wednesday, 10 p.m.
Thank you very much.
Tackling something. Oh no, wait, we're not finished yet. I want to participate. I'm doing that. I'm doing my own podcast. I've been trying to get some names for it, so I'm going to be doing my own individual podcast as well.
Bro.
That's it. That's all right. That's all right,
Yeah, man. Quincy, what have you got planned for this week?
This week, back on my breakfast show in conversation with various guests, and Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and also doing my In Sync. And lastly, my Daddy's Issues on a Thursday from 7:30.
Daddy's Issues? What platform?
Daddy's Issues is on Instagram Live, and In Sync with the Quincy is on Facebook and Insta Live as well on a Sunday and a Monday. After this, before Comedy TV.
Thank you very much. And Slim, where can we catch you this week?
This week, you can't catch me, but what I'll be doing this week, I'll be meeting up with another comedian to sit down and be writing a sitcom.
Oh, come on, man.
Righty
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. But listen, again, that's been #Comedy TV from all of us here, me, myself, and the guys on the whole team. We thank you very much. Make sure you tune in next week. Catch us same place, same time. #Comedy TV. Hey. Thank you.
Respect.
You love so hard, with arms wide open. You are my rock, you are my mountain. Your sacrifices go unseen. You're such a beautiful human being. You're the gift that keeps on giving. You're my father, you're my father. Mama still had that look in her eyes when you walked in the room. She loves you just as much as she did on your honeymoon. The sacrifices that you made, you tried to hide but couldn't conceal. That your love and protection is all we could feel. You love so hard, with arms wide open. You are my rock, you are my mountain. Your sacrifices go unseen. You're such a beautiful human being. You're the gift that keeps on giving. You're my father, you're my father. You are a comforting presence when everything seems so dark. You are the voice in the crowd whenever I need